What's up, guys? So, here I am talking a little bit about Python, and today I would like to talk about how Python became so popular. And the reason why Python became so popular nowadays is because it is a pretty beginner friendly programming language, and it is also used in a lot of fields in the software development world. So once you have this combination, this strong combination, you start to realize that Python is a pretty good tool and a pretty good language to start with, especially if you are a beginner with no previous coding experience. And I would like to talk about how easy is Python, because you can actually learn Python in a few days, but in order to get to a professional level, I mean, if you want to work in a big company working as a Python developer, you need to have a lot of good fundamental basis. So it is not just about learning how to do for loops or iterate over lists or stuff like that. You have to know a lot about classes and inheritance and stuff like that, that you get you to the next level if you want to have a career in the software development world. So I'm not saying it is hard. Nowadays, the software development world is a little bit easier than usual because of AI tools. AI tools help us a lot in the development of an application. So if you are a beginner, I advise you to use AI for studying and also for building your project. But I would advise you to use AI wisely just for studying purposes, because it can get pretty messy and pretty tricky, especially if you are a beginner with no previous experience. So use AI wisely to study about topics that you would have to ask for people about, because it is much better. AI is a pretty good teacher, and it won't get mad at you, it won't get tired of you asking a lot of questions. So I advise you to use AI wisely for studying purposes, and just when you get to a good level in your programming skills, that I would advise you to use AI tools. And the day-to-day work in software development world is kind of boring. I mean, if you watch some movies about technology and hacking, you see a lot of action, but in the reality, it is a pretty boring routine, and it doesn't mean that it is bad or that it isn't a good field to work on, but it is a pretty boring routine. You get to participate in a lot of meetings. You plan a lot. You have a lot of you have to manage a lot of projects, and it's trade-offs. I mean, in technology, if you want something, you have to give it out in another side of the project. So if you want good performance, you have to sacrifice something else in order to have good performance. If you want a beautiful design, a pretty good screen with a lot of interoperability and etc., you have to sacrifice performance, perhaps. So it is a pretty you have to think a lot and think wisely and use your skills in order to make good decisions in your day-to-day work. So it is a career where you have to think that technology impacts in the lives of millions of people nowadays. I mean, billions of people nowadays. So if you upload some bad code into a production environment, you actually impact a lot of lives, and you also impact yourself, a lot of bad consequences for yourself and for your company. So think that the developer has a lot of responsibility for the code that he writes. But I mean, in order for you to upload some bad code, some trash code that will break production environment, your code has to go into a lot of reviews, a lot of verifications, and but sometimes it just goes, and the people that are supposed to review your code are not paying 100% attention. They are not focused on their work, or sometimes it was a pretty small bug and it wasn't detected by anyone, and it broke the production environment. So you have to be very careful when you are coding professionally, because our actions, our code, impact a lot of lives and a lot of business as well. As I was saying, I've been a Python developer for over 2 years now, and before I joined the software development world, I was working in a tech support job. So I would make a lot of troubleshooting and stuff related to that. And so I decided to join programming, to start studying programming in 2022, I guess. I studied for 8 months and I got hired as a junior developer working with Python. I started in doing some automation, some stuff related to the web, like web scraping, extracting data all over the internet. And after that, I started to migrate a little bit to the backward development side. So nowadays, I do a lot of planning. I work, I mainly work as an analyst because I have to think a lot about the trade-offs in a system, but I do work a lot of with RESTful APIs and stuff in the backend development, in the backend side. So I also do have some ability with front-end development, but it is not my strong side. I do like Python, I do like the data structures, and I'd like to move the data around. You know, do the backend stuff that it is already complicated, but I do work. I already worked with front end technologies as well, and actually I'm building a project right now, and a personal product, and I'll be also updating you guys on how this is going, how I'm architecturing my website, my product, and etc. My technical decisions, and I think it will be a pretty good journey because as a developer, I just wrote code for business for my employers, and I never got to code anything for my own personal advantage. So nowadays, I'm currently working a product for myself to earn money, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but it will give me a lot of experience in the business side, in the development side as well, because I have to make a lot of technical decisions and stuff like that. So I mean that's it. Uh, I'll be updating you guys with other stuff as well. I will talk about a lot of topics, and I wanted to make sure that you get to know me a little bit about me. And see you guys.